So now there's stages of tummy time.
In this video, you're going to learn what optimal tummy time looks like, warning signs of non-optimal tummy time, and find resources to support optimal tummy time. Welcome to Movement Lesson. Find our links in the description below.
So now there's stages of tummy time. In tummy time, originally during the 1 month stage, their hands are out, they're not propped. And with that, their heads can go up and down into this. What are they getting out of this? It's almost like a pre-crawl, right? They're weight transferring. Their head is starting to cross midline. All of these are starting to come into play. Non-optimal tummy time, you're starting to see this. That shouldn't happen. You should not see two butt up, right? Because now the head's in. This is usually when the pelvis is going up. That's when you're calling me saying, oh, my baby just hates tummy time. No, they feel like they're drowning. Then going into the second months, right? Now you're starting to get into where you can weight transfer and start to look at your world, right? And they're doing these kind of movements and looking around. It should not be lack of midline back up like this and pushing through the hands. Again, if I'm in that position, I can't play. If I engage my hands for a push or a plank like this, I can't grab a toy. Because if I do, that's what happens. Or if you're starting to see your baby starting to do these kind of things where they're trying to push up to lift their head, already it's an unsuccessful tummy time and they're getting into trouble. In this position, I can start to reach out because I've weight transferred. I'm weight transferring over. I can reach out. I can do those kind of things. That's where rolling over starts to come into play, right? All of a sudden I'm looking, and I can start to grab and reach, right? And I'm going here. So then by the 3 months and so forth, you're really getting into the rolling over, and that's starting to happen. But by 4 months, a very important thing happens, right? First of all, you have airplane, where they're out here and their hands are up and they're doing airplane, and they're almost like they're surfing on their pelvis. And that's what's meant to happen. They can reach out, they're crossing midline, they're grabbing their feet, those kind of things are happening. Again, nice pubic bone strike, but your baby will start to go up and plank down on their pubic bone, right? This is a very important pre-milestone for your walking and also for tongue articulation, right? That's coming out. But if you're expecting your baby to plank and go up like this, like you're working out at the gym, that is not a milestone. Why? Look where the eyes are going. The eyes are not there and you're putting force, and I can't play.
My name is Erin, folks, and I've studied the movement mathematics that create optimal milestoning. You just watched this video by Michelle, and so what can you do with it? What can you do with these stages of tummy time if your child just isn't doing it? And they hate tummy time, and you're still like, okay, well, but what do I do? The thing is you have to to get optimal development, you have to put the mathematics of movement into your child's system. So if you watch traditional videos, one of the big things they'll say is, you want to put your hand on the pelvis and help support that head lift, okay, to shift the weight from the head to the pelvis, okay, but putting your weight here, you're teaching your child leverage and force to create the movement, not weight transfer, not weight shifting. Okay, other things they'll have propping. They can have you do like the football hold in your arms, things like that. There's a lot of different things that you can do to simulate tummy time, but are you putting the optimal movement mathematics into the system? You won't know until you are actually knowing how to evaluate the optimal movement mathematics, and you can do that in our tummy time course, where you can learn the movement mathematics of all these different stages that Michelle's talked about in tummy time, from 1 month to 4 months old, getting that pubic bone strike, things like that. And it's just getting into the Fast Start Optimal Development Program. It's not just a one little thing. To make it the easiest, you want to put in the movement mathematics. To if you're counting minutes and time that your baby's doing tummy time, non-optimal tummy time is happening for your child. You should never be counting when they're doing tummy time. It should just look easy and comfortable, and it just happens. You're not really worried about how they're doing tummy time. They just are enjoying where they're at. And if your baby's hating it, well, then the optimal movement mathematics are not happening. And if you're doing these other traditional methods and you still can't put your child in that classic tummy time without them hating it, without any props, anything like that, even if you're getting more time in tummy time, you're not putting in optimal movement mathematics to make the rest of the milestones successful. You can see here on my head, these are all the milestones up through crawling, and what makes optimal crawling happen in the system. And so get into that Fast Start Optimal Development Program. To really help your child, you got to put in the time to help them. It's a little bit more than quick tips, things like that. The time can be small that you do it, but taking 5 minutes and putting them in a football holder, taking 5 minutes and truly working on, okay, my child is struggling with, they're looking at you milestone, and I'm going to come in here and work with the head and put in that movement mathematics, is in the long run going to be so much more profound and life-changing for your child's developmental future and their lifetime of development versus the immediate right now. Okay, I got a performance of tummy time, even though it's propping, even though it's only football hold, even though it's on my chest. Really just, it creates less worry as your child is growing. You don't, when you have optimal development, you don't worry about the milestones. They just happen. So get into that program. The link is in the description, and start giving your child the gift of optimal development today.